What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
BlueNote Fan Report. Happy Halloween. Halloween is in 2 days. The Halloween game is tomorrow. It is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and Justin Scott joining you tonight on the BlueNote Fan Report. How are you doing, Justin?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
We are doing good. Tonight we have a special guest. We have John Hefner here. John was actually supposed to be with us at the show we did in Cedar Hill, but some things got changed and he couldn't make it. So we set up this special edition of the show just for him. How are you doing there, John?
I'm doing good. Wait to give you shit.
Say again?
I'm doing well. Wait to give you heck.
Well, you think you're going to give me heck. I don't know. It's going to be, I think you might have a little trouble doing that. So Justin, as we'll do tonight, we're going to kind of make it a little different. We're going to pay homage to our friend Rolan Spinks. If you saw the background that I had put up earlier when I posted the show, I want to again say a big thank you to you and your family for getting that cake at the show and honoring him. We greatly appreciate that, Justin.
Yeah, of course. It was something that I felt was right for the show, just community as a whole. I think even for the people who couldn't show up, just to know that Rolan is honored here and will forever be a part of the show. So.
Oh, absolutely, he will. Absolutely, he will. We got E. Guido saying E is here. We got John's beautiful wife saying, "Hey, baby." Uh-oh, you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
If she's saying, "Hey, baby," you're in trouble.
We're not having any alcohol, baby, I promise.
Yeah, right. E saying, "Hi, Guy and Justin." Thank you, E. We appreciate that. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about Rolan, our friend. We'll talk to him about that. But we're also going to get into the Blues and their dreadful start to the 2025-26 season. A lot of people have a lot of reasons why, and I think all of them are valid. I don't think it's one particular reason. I'm going to kind of let you start with your number one reason why. So the Blues went from a top 7 tandem, but it looks really bad. Wendy, you are right, man.
I think the passing across the minerals, man, there's nothing there. It's more back into that old school shooting into the fucking shooting into the back. Yeah, just and let it fly.
Yeah.
That passing tandem's over.
Hold on. We'll get to you. We're gonna start with Justin. Justin, what do you think is going on wrong with the St. Louis Blues?
And I think it's like you said, I don't think it's one thing that you can really pinpoint. But as for the St. Louis Blues, I think there's two major things that you're looking at. You're looking at a team who is struggling to finish. First off, they're not finishing in key times and key moments when they need to. But I also do think that I also get a lot of slack for it. But the goaltending has not been great. I will say it till I'm blue in the face. This organization, this fan base is so used to the St. Louis Blues having solid goaltending. And I just think over the years it's been like, it hasn't been like all-star levels, no, but it's been serviceable and it's been good enough to where it's never been an issue. But now we're seeing it as a big issue for the St. Louis Blues to start this season. And I think people are overlooking, and it's clouding their judgment, especially when it comes to Jordan Binnington. He won us the cup, so I think that kind of clouds people's judgment when analyzing the goaltending to start the year. So I think, to pinpoint the two, I think it's the finishing factor for the St. Louis Blues and the goaltending.
Well, I got a question. Who's giving you slack about the goaltending?
I've seen. I mean, there's. I'm not going to shout out names or anything like that, but I have been. When you talk about goaltending is a sore spot for most people because most people don't want to blame goaltending. And although I don't like to blame goaltending because it seems like it's a cheap way out, it's hard to deny the struggles that tandem has faced so far.
And I agree. I agree with you. I do agree with you. I do agree that goaltending has been a problem. But when you say goaltending, I think there's something that needs to be separated. And there's a difference between goaltending and goaltenders, right? Have the goaltenders been a problem, or has goaltending been a problem? And when you say Joel Hofer, I will say, yes, the goaltender has been a problem. But when you say Jordan Binnington, overall, I don't think Jordan Binnington, the goaltender, has been much a problem. Has some of the goaltending or defense.
You mean like giving up 20 shots in the third period?
Yeah, that's things like that, right? That I think that elevates to it, right? When you look at go ahead, Justin.
No, I was saying 20 shots in the third period. That's another weird factor for the St. Louis Blues. You look at these games though. The St. Louis Blues are doing something that they usually don't do, and that's outshoot and outchance their opponents, just not outscore their opponents, which is a little different than what we're used to seeing. We're used to a St. Louis Blues team who gets heavily outshot, who gets usually heavily outchanced, but they outscore their opponents. That's usually the Blues team that we see, and that hasn't been the case, here to start this season. It's been the complete opposite, which is very weird to think about when you're talking about what's going on with the St. Louis Blues.
Well, years past, the second period has always been a killer. It ain't killing us anymore. It's the third.
Well, I mean, there was one season where the second period was really, really bad, but last year it was kind of. I mean, they got through those second period woes. This year, I don't see like. You can't point and say, oh, the second period's killing us, or oh, the third period's killing us, or oh, this is killing us, or that is killing us. And I wish Bob Morton was here. I really, really wish Bob Morton was here, because for the longest period of time, I have always put the onus on coaching, that the coaching we had was not the right coach for this team. And in fact, I wrote that article, and you might remember this. I wrote the article, is Berube the right coach for this team, back right before the
switch off, and we got it in
when I had my website.
Bluebirds.
This was right before. No, this was right before the COVID season, the shortened season. I wrote that article, and everything I wrote in that article pretty much came to fruition. But now I think the Blues have the right coach for this team. I absolutely do. I believe that the coach that they have is the right coach for these players. And we saw it last year. And our last season, 12 or 13 game winning streak, right? Was it 13 games or 12, Justin? Do you remember?
It was 12.
12 game winning streak.
It was 12 game winning streak.
Right? The 12 game winning streak. And so we know that his offense works with these guys. However, they're struggling with it. They're not being defensively responsible. They're not being offensively aggressive. And, the only game that they've really come out and done what,
Dallas.
Say again?
Dallas.
The Dallas game, they kept Dallas to the outside the entire game. Dallas had nothing through the neutral zone. Nothing through the neutral zone. St. Louis was going through the neutral zone like it was their third, second zone. You're like, their defensive zone went all the way to the offensive blue line. And Dallas was like, we can't even find the neutral zone. But they were winning puck battles. They were doing the things in that game that they needed to do. And they even got behind in that game, if I remember correctly, and came back and scored. Or was they up 1-0? I can't remember.
We won.
No,
I know.
They didn't score until the end with a minute left. So the Blues were always up in that game.
Oh, okay. My bad. That's right. He's a shutout going. That's right. It was 2-1 or 2-0, and they made it a 1-goal game. And you know what, E? This is a good comment from him. He says a lot of people expect the Blues to win every game. Remember, it's a long season. While you are correct, a lot of people do expect the Blues to win every game, and they're not. They're just not. So this is why I always say there are good wins, there are bad wins. There are good losses, and there are bad losses. And unfortunately, I can't look at any of these games and say that was a good loss. I can't. All right? Can you look at one of these Blues losses and say that was a good loss?
Then when you're at 4-0.
Right? Right?
Yeah, I mean the Detroit game Saturday in Detroit. That was just a monumental collapse. But then it kind of goes back to what I was saying, how I have been stating that when the Blues do show up, it seems that it's not good. And even you said it when we were on the live show when they scored and stuff, and you're like, oh, that's one that Jordan Binnington wants back.
Well, Justin, at one time, but against the Stars, you said we played 57 minutes of hockey. When has that happened since?
Wait, what?
You had said about the Stars game that the Blues played 57 minutes of good hockey, and John saying, has that happened since or before? And it hasn't.
Well, I don't remember ever saying that they played 57 minutes. I think they played a pretty good 60 minutes, if I'm honest, against Dallas. I mean, they were pretty good against Dallas. That was the one game, yes. The one game that they did play. Well, actually, no. I will say the score was 5-2, but they played the Vancouver Canucks very well on the road. That was a game that they actually did play well, and that was a game that they controlled for all that game. The Calgary game, the first game, the first period, they were a little rocky. The second and third was all Blues in the Calgary game.
Yeah.
So
Chris Shockey's the one that said 57 minutes, so it was Shockey. Not. So sorry about that. Ryan Green says this team has done this for 3 or 4 years now. How they're losing is what I'm talking about. I don't know if they've done that lost this way for 3 or 4 years. I'm not 100% sure on that.
The way that the Blues are losing right now, they're losing by huge margins. I mean, what they've played, they're on a 5-game losing streak. 5-game losing streak, and they have let up 24 goals, I believe.
Yeah,
like that. That's pretty outstanding. Like, just pretty crazy numbers to think about. But like I said, I've been posting it and talking about it for a while. The underlying stats when it comes to the Blues is interesting that they're so middle of the pack or decent considering where they're at. They rank number 30th in the whole league right now. So they're third worst team in the league. But their underlying stats of expected goals for, chances, they rank pretty decent slot for those. So it's a weird kind of thing that's going on with the Blues.
So I'm going back through the losing streak here, right? They gave up 2 to the Kings. I mean, if you want to count that as a loss, you can. I mean, they got a point out of it. But they gave up 2 to the Kings, 7 to the Mammoth, so that's 9. 6 to the Red Wings, so that's 15, right? 6 to Pittsburgh, so that's 21, and 5 to the Red Wings, so that makes it 26 goals in the 5-game losing streak, while scoring a total of 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 goals. So they've almost been doubled up.
I mean, and it's like I said, it's a strange feeling right now for the St. Louis Blues, and watching it. Like, when I watch these games, I'm not as angry as, most maybe should be or kind of are. I feel a team that is trying, like the notion that like the Blues are not trying out on the ice. Like, I don't feel that. I feel that there is effort. I see it. There's spurts of effort there. It's just they can't seem to get it for a full 60 minutes. They seem to fall behind in games. That's one of the major problems, is they fall behind in games very early on. When you're battling back and trying to come back in games, when you're down 2-0 in the first minute, in the instance where you go down 4-0,
4-0 and giving up 6 goals straight. That's a problem.
Yeah, well, let me stop right there, because, yeah, you gave up 4 goals, and yes, that's a terrible loss. You should not lose when you score 4 goals immediately. But let's put it this way: the Mammoth were up 4-0 on the St. Louis Blues, and the Mammoth almost choked it. So, anything is possible. The Red Wings played a good game. They crawled back into the game. Tom McClellan did what he was supposed to do as the head coach and rallied the boys and got them to come back in that game. The Blues should have never let that happen. But I look at that, and then I try to turn that into a positive, and I say, well, the Blues almost came back down 4-0 against the Mammoth. So there's effort.
No, I agree with you. I do agree with you. Shockey says they just wait for something bad to happen, and when it does, they fall apart. I kind of saw that last night. When that goal deflected off of Falk and went in. Now, Bennington, I know it was a deflected goal, but it looked like it just he had no clue. And I'm a big Bennington. And now here's the thing. Everyone looks at me and goes, "Sky, you just think Bennington does nothing wrong." And that's not a true statement. If you go back to the bubble, this is what Ashley was talking about. I used to get on Bennington something fierce. I mean, I thought every goal was on Bennington. I have since changed my tune on that. But, I think right now, for me, I think that the only thing that's going to fix this team is this team, right? I think that they need Monty needs to walk into the locker room before practice and say,
or do they need a coachless workout in the locker room?
Yeah, that's what I want. Let me freaking finish talking, jackass. That's for Lana. I think that they need to go in the locker room. He needs to go in the locker room and say, okay, guys, practice is canceled. Turn out, close the door, lock it, and say, and let them figure it out. Wendy's excited. Lindy says this year's Blackhawks team is the most exciting I've seen in like 8 years to start a season until they fall apart, which I hope happens, but I don't know.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's and then Chris Shockey says I think Tommy and Jake's injuries hurt in Detroit. Maybe. I won't get to talk about that here in a little bit. My grandma passed away 9 minutes after the Kings and the Blues game started, and her team is the Kings, and mine was the Blues. So crazy how that happens. And her team won. Yeah, sorry about your grandma passing there, Ryan.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, right. And what were you going to say about the Blackhawks there, Justin? I think you were going to say something.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say anything about the Blackhawks. I was actually kind of going back a little bit, not to bring up the subject again, but how you were saying, like last night, I want to preface this. I don't blame last night on Bennington. That was not on Bennington last night. There was defensive breakdowns, but that was the first night that I have felt like the St. Louis Blues just didn't show up. They were playing on a back-to-back. They played a Detroit Red Wings team that was well rested. They didn't play and since they played the Blues in Detroit, so they were well rested. The Blues were coming from a back-to-back. That's not an excuse or nothing, but the goals that were scored last night were not on Binnington. Tip shots, unfortunate bounce off of Falk's skate, but defensive breakdown like that play. I think it was the third goal where Walker leaves the net front for some odd reason to go double up when Mayu has his guy already pinned against the boards. I have no idea why. So I just want to preface that I don't blame Binnington for last night. I just think that the goaltending has not been great.
Well, and this is why, and I want to say a big thank you to Sister J Day, Sharon Spinks. Sharon, we are thinking of your son very, very much tonight. Thank you for watching. Sister J Day, Sharon Spinks, Tad Dieterman, Kathy Hefner, and E. Guido. Thank you for putting some love in the air. We really appreciate that. Tad says it's early in the season. We need to give the Blues a chance to get to gel. They can do it. I hope so, but I'm not there because Walker is a winger. That's why I do.
No.
I do see that is something that I think Walker was supposed to do. I think everyone's getting on him, but I do think, and Chucky played the game at a level with a professional coach where I think he'll tell you, and I don't know, maybe he'll comment here that the winger's got to go support the defender so the defender can get the puck to somebody instead of it just staying along the wall. I think that's what happened, and I think in doing that.
But doesn't Monty want the defenders coming up?
Say again?
Doesn't Monty want the defenders coming up?
Oh, yeah, he does.
Well, and I do see that point that you're trying to make there, but in this instance, in this situation where it happened and how it happened, Nathan Walker is I don't recall who was behind. I know Logan Mailloux had his guy behind that. I think there was possibly another Blues player behind the net as well. I don't know who it was. It might have been the center at the time, but the fact of the matter is you guys got to communicate. You got to rotate. And Walker is in front of the net. In this situation, he does not need to go and support the defenseman right there. Logan Mailloux has his guy covered. He is taking the guy. Nathan Walker has the guy in front of the net. Do not leave him uncontested when you have no one else around to cover that guy.
There's a comment here that I want to read, and I know you and me completely disagree on this. I know we do, but I'm going to read this comment. This is from Ryan Green. It's, can any of this be blamed on the preseason where they played too many young players till the start of the regular season? I'll let you answer first.
Well, for me, I came on here and I said, and I still kind of believe it because I think that's the way that it goes. But it is kind of different to where you see different teams play their full roster. And a lot of the times you see a lot of their roster guys get a bunch of games in the preseason. And I just think it's because they don't have as deep as a farm system as the Blues do. So that's why I think the Blues play the preseason how it should be played when it comes to things. But I think the Blues did kind of make a mistake not getting their full roster, out there for, one or two more games.
Now, I'm with you. Well, so for me, the preseason is supposed to be to tune up your team for the regular season. That's what the preseason is supposed to be for. I'm not completely on board with you on this, and it's fine. We're allowed to disagree. I don't think that the preseason is supposed to be to get the younger guys ready. It gives you a look at them, but that look is in practice, not in games. They should get – well, first of all, they played six preseason games. Next year it's only 4. Only 4 preseason games. So for me, prospects should get 1 game and then maybe a game and a half, and then the regulars should get the rest. Right? That's how I mean. And we will talk about this other thing that Scary's bringing up here in a second. And this is the other big news. John, did you have anything to add to that, bud?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm just sitting back getting entertained.
Right? John's mad at me because I told him to shut up earlier. And now I kind of lost my place. So the St. Louis Blues did something, and I said last night I thought it would happen at the game. I was talking to Bob Kolzik, and I said, it's time to do it. What have you got to lose? And they did it today. I think with Krug being on either LTIR or retired, where the money's going to go away, they brought Dvorsky up. I think it's the right time. I think it's a good move. He's had a decent, I think he's got 6 points in 6 games, so he's playing at a point a game down there. I'm ready to see what the kid's got, And I talked about this at our preseason. I said, if he doesn't come up this year, is it time to consider him a bust? And I'm like, oh, no. No, it's time for him to be up. There's guys below him that are playing. It's time for him to play. And what I mean below in draft pick, right?
Yeah, I mean, Dvorsky, well, me and you talked about this too. Dvorsky, he's coming up now, but, I'd love to see him claim a spot and, keep it. But my thing is, if Dvorsky is not on this team as a permanent guy next year, then you got to consider possibly pushing him out and getting something in return for him, because Dvorsky should be playing in the NHL at a 10th overall pick.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You and me, we've absolutely talked about that, and I'm dead on with that. Before we get any more into the Blues, I want to talk about what this show is about and what this season's going to be about. It's going to be brought up first. This show lost one of its strongest advocates at the beginning of October. When I started this show, Rolan Spinks.
He was your first and only Edmund. The
Yeah.
first one that came on.
Well, he's the one. So when I started the show, I was in a bunch of groups, and he came to me and he said, you need to start your own group so people know where to find it. And you just put it in there and you go from there. And we did try that for a while. And unfortunately, the group never grew like we wanted it to. It's only got 700 people in it. And that's over 7 years. So I'm averaging 100 people a year, but either here nor there. But he's the one that wanted that group started. He would tell me he's the lead admin. Rolan Spinks ran into some health issues, and basically his heart just stopped. That's the best I can tell you. It happened on the 5th, if I remember correctly. I think the day that we were doing our show on October 5th. A week later, they had his memorial service. I was there. I was able to give something. Rolan and John were both supposed to have been at the Cedar Hill show. Rolan was an Elk. We were doing it in an Elks club. He really wanted to go. He was worried that the two of them would drink, and I told him, nope, I'm going to tell the bartender you two aren't allowed. Right? And he's
you don't know Rolan very well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was going to try. But Rolan, how many times that I wanted to quit the show, and Rolan would call me, man, he'd be pissed at me. You can't quit. You can't let them win. You just got to keep going. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Well, and I'm at the point now where if it ever blows up, it blows up. I'll be glad. But I'm happy now. I got 12 people watching. On a Wednesday night, impromptu, we started the show. I'm happy with this. I'm happy that we've got people that are willing to talk. And the comments have been lively. They've been good. Scary says here, preseason is supposed to cut your team down to its roster for the regular season. Yeah, I don't know about that. I hope Devo does well enough to move on from Tex. Texier is the one guy that we could probably one of the 2 or 3 guys that we could trade. We don't have a lot of guys to trade, right?
Yeah, Texier would likely be the guy who would be the odd man out from what I've seen.
And Texier was one of the guys that worked the hardest.
Yeah, I
Right.
remember his speed, but the puck handling, it wasn't there.
The
Hey, Dante. Dante Zaferno says, Guy, if it all ended tomorrow, you did damn good. You did it your way. Go Blues and rest easy, Roland. Dante, we appreciate you being here, man. You're one of those guys that I consider one of my best friends from this show. I'll never forget your wedding. Thank you so much for inviting me, and we hope you continue to watch. Dante, Mike, we really do. Dante's Inferno's always been there. Now, I do apologize. I got to use the restroom. So, Justin, you got the show for a few minutes. I'm going to mute my mic. I'll let you and John talk while I use the restroom. Sound good?
I'll be right behind you, but I'll bullshit for a little bit.
No, yeah, you got to wait till I'm done.
Okay, are we good now?
What's up, Justin?
Okay. How you doing? I think it cut out for a bit. I don't know. What did he say he had to do?
Hey, he's going upstairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I mean, so let me get your thoughts, John, on what we saw last night from the Blues. What was your takeaway from last night's game?
Lots of energy at the beginning. Then all of a sudden, we just sat in our seats and like, what the hell is happening?
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
I think for the Blues, I think it was a hot start, and it was definitely an inspired start considering that they played the night before in Pittsburgh. The thing for me, I don't know if it was fatigue, because they're athletes, they're capable of playing back to backs, but I just felt like once that puck went off of Falk's skate, it just kind of took the air out of the arena, and it just kind of deflated them a bit.
Oh, and we just happened to sit in front of, what's it? I have to ask my wife or Guy. 3 rows in front of a row of Red Wings fans. It was annoying as hell, but all you could do is give them a thumbs up.
I was calling them Dead Wings every time they go, let's go Red Wings.
and
every time they go, let's go Red Wings, as soon as they said Red, I go Dead Wings really loud, so it drowned them out.
Well, and I think it's inspiring seeing what the Red Wings are doing, because I love that I'm not seeing too many cocky Detroit Red Wings fans, considering they weren't in the playoffs last year. So I mean, this is kind of a great start for them. You're seeing where they were last year, kind of in a sea of nowhere, pretty much.
All right, Guy, I'm headed up to the head myself.
Yeah, I got y'all. Let me bring you down and
Okay.
yeah, go this way.
I see.
Sorry, I got to make sure he doesn't go through the camera.
I see the
So give me a
wires.
second. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there is one thing that I want to talk about last night's game, and a lot of people, and then Wendy makes a point, and I don't know how to do this. So Wendy says St. Louis may have to consider changing their goaltending up. Hofer is hurting you guys, but unless he has an injury, you can't send him down because you got to waive him, and if you waive him, I know he's getting claimed. He's getting claimed.
The thing with that is I understand that perspective, but I feel like that's a simplistic approach to things. Joe Hofer is way, way, way better than what his stats are showing right now, and he's in a rut. He looks like a defeated goalie right now, and for me, I said it in my my TikTok that I just did for the show. I talked about it. I think that these two guys will bounce back. I think that this is a slump right now, but I think that they're fully capable of getting back on track. I really do.
Yeah, Dante says the Blues are too good of a team not to turn it around. It will. It's not a matter of if, but when, and I hope so. I really hope so. But see, I look at the St. Louis Blues as being the Nashville Predators of last year. A team that had all the talent that went nowhere. I
mean, and they very well could be. But you look at the standings right now, and even if you're not a St. Louis Blues fan, when you look at the standings and you see where the St. Louis Blues are right now, they sit 30th in the NHL, and the only two teams that are worse than them are the San Jose Sharks and the Calgary Flames. Now, anybody with a brain, no offense, Well, look at those three teams. There is no way you lump the talent that the St. Louis Blues have in with the San Jose Sharks and Calgary Flames. I'm sorry. There is way more talent on the St. Louis Blues team than to be lumped in with teams like that. And I'm not trying to bad talk any team or anything like that, because I think the San Jose Sharks are going in the right direction. I think Calgary is kind of in a sea of I don't know what, really, to be honest. They're more rebuilding. Their best player is Nazem Kadri, so that's not really saying much. But the Blues are better than those two teams currently right now.
Yep, I kind of with you. So I want to talk about one thing as John's coming back here. All right, wearing my defunct shirt. But
I couldn't bring myself to come here without it, guys.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I really do, man. You're a good friend. When the Hawks were in St. Louis, I was 3 rows from the glass where they shot twice. A few Hawks fans and I were razzing Hofer in that. I thought you were up in the 3rd level. What'd you do? Move down? I thought he was up in the 300s. That's where he told me he was. So he must have moved down on me. Yeah, that was a bad game for Hofer. I want to talk about something that happened last night that a lot of people thought was a good thing, and I don't. In the first period, like 6-7 minutes into the first period, Shen starts jawing with somebody and gets into a fight. Well, I understand why he did it. He's not the guy that needs to be doing that. You just took out, Shen is your captain, but he's also a productive player. You just put a productive player in the penalty box for 5 minutes. And if you want to know, your mic's down because I had it there. If you want to know why things kind of went off the rails after that point, it's because the productiveness went away.
Wait a minute. 91 used to get in fights every once in a while.
Every once in a while. But when he got in a fight, it wasn't like a jawing thing. It was somebody hit somebody, and that's when he got in a fight. He didn't get in a fight to raise the crowd. And that's what Shen did there. That fight had nothing to do with the hockey play. Tarasenko's fights, almost every single one of them was because of a hockey play.
Like Walker.
Yeah.
I'm getting everybody motivated. Let's go.
So Walker or Tucker or Kessel or even Sundqvist is the guy that should have been getting in that fight, not Shen, because especially when you have the momentum. They had the momentum, and that fight actually took it away. I'd like to hear your take on that, Justin.
I mean, for me, I didn't see much wrong with it, if I'm honest. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Braden Shen, there's a lot of doubters that have been questioning, the leadership, decision to have Shen as the captain. But I stick by what I say, man. Shen's a good captain, and I'll stick by that. I still think that we talk about it. Robert Thomas, he's going to be the next captain for the St. Louis Blues. But
absolutely,
Braden Shen is doing what the captain should be doing, and that's trying to get the boys going. You look at the I go back to the I believe it was the Utah game where the Blues made that comeback. You know how that comeback all started? It was because Braden Shen, like a fireball, he goes for a hit and throws a big body check on one of the Utah players, and that got everybody going.
Okay.
So that
yeah, but
that's
guys, since I looked at you and that happened, I said we're going to get a Gordy to now, and that was what, halfway through the first period.
That was early in the first period. He didn't get the Gordy, but what it comes down to is he took himself out of the game, and it wasn't a time where he needed it. They were up 1-0. They were up. They were leading the game. Him being out is when that disconnect starts. That's what I'm trying to get at. I understand what your captain's supposed to do, but that was not the time or the place. It really wasn't. They weren't down. They had momentum. They were sharp. that, you know, it messed the flow up to me. Shockey says the first fight happened fine, but after that, he scored. If the first fight happened fine, but after he scored, the team and crowd was in it. Yeah, so the fight at that point doesn't make sense to be. He took himself out of the game, and he actually took the moment. That fight took the momentum away. Then instead of building on, that's the way I felt.
Yeah, I mean, but I look at that, but I'm not gonna blame that loss on that moment. I mean, I don't really view that as any big significance to what happened in this game. I think that they came out hot. He scored. He got into a fight. They looked fine, and then, like I said, the big turning point in that game felt when Ben Sherratt took a shot that would have went 10 feet wide, but it hit off of Justin Falk into the net. That was your turning point in the game, not Braden Shin taking a fight.
Well, okay, I'll kind of agree with you on that, but I do feel that fight that was supposed to build momentum didn't. It felt like the momentum went away. And was Shin in the penalty box when that happened? I think he was, wasn't he?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, but like I said, that's what I kind of felt. I felt like it was fine. Everything felt fine. They were crisp and everything until that first goal went in. I mean, Detroit, credit to Detroit. What Detroit did in that game was they took a shot first mentality. If you watch teams like the New Jersey Devils, the Carolina Hurricanes, their memo is shooting the puck from anywhere. That's what Detroit did last night, was shoot the puck from anywhere. They didn't care where it was. They just shot the puck. Well,
the Shen fight was at 7:35. The Sherratt goal was at 12:01. So he was actually still in the box when that happens. The game turned on the late power play goal. The Brinkett's power play goal is where the game turned. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely deflated them a little bit more, especially after the fact they, got that goal that was an own goal pretty much that bounced off Falk as well. So,
well, I think the DeBrincat goal was one that bounced off of somebody, right? Because it looked like it just trickled through Bennington's leg. So I think that was a deflection also.
Well, it might have, but both of them might have been, but I know the Sherratt one, the first goal that Detroit scored was a shot that was from the point and literally would have went 10 feet wide, but it hit Justin Falk and it went into the net. So, just unfortunate bounce there in the first one. And then the second one, they get a power play. I can't even remember the what the penalty was for, if I'm honest. There was a few things in this game, but
Holloway took a holding penalty.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it was. It was a hold. Disappointing play for Dylan Holloway there. In the O zone, especially because it was in the offensive zone when he took that penalty.
Yeah. Yep. Well, let's go. Let's kind of circle back around. Tonight's show is in memory of Rolan Spinks, who we lost at the beginning of this month. John Hefner, who's with me here, first time that we've got to meet after 7 years of him following us on the show.
And he introduced me to Rolan 4 years ago at the Elks Club.
Yep. He got to meet Rolan 4 years ago at the Elks Club. They did a watch party there that unfortunately I couldn't be a part of. But, so that's why we have John here tonight to kind of celebrate and remember Rolan and the great person he was. To Mrs. Spinks and to his children, know that he is sorely, sorely missed, and that I consider him one of my best friends from this show, even though this guy, make this guy mad. But,
that's my broken ribs, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that.
Broken ribs, man.
I just got him where he shouldn't have got him. Okay, so let's.
You hang out with a guy, you might get some broken ribs.
I didn't break them. That's on you and the cat.
I would like to. I don't know, guy. I didn't talk to you. I should have talked to you. I didn't know. I guess it's Sharon Roland's mother. I guess.
Yes.
Well, Sharon, if you're in the if you're watching, please comment. I would actually love to show you something. God knows what I'm talking about. But if you're here watching, I'd love to show you something. If you can comment and show us that you're still here.
Yeah,
if that's okay with you guys.
Earlier, I don't know if she's still watching. If she is, I'm sure she will comment. So in the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so, let's talk about what's coming up. The Blues' next 3 games. They have Vancouver tomorrow. Then they will
be there. Hope you're not.
They have Vancouver tomorrow. Then they will go on the road and do a 1-game road trip in Columbus. Then they will come back home and face the Edmonton Oilers on November 3rd. November 5th, they will be on the road to face, I think they got a 3-game road trip? No, 2-game road trip.
Yeah.
They face the Capitals and Sabres before the Kraken are here on November. This is a busy month.
And we've been doing crappy against the Kraken.
Right? No, we haven't.
Well,
no, actually the 2 games that surprisingly worry me the most out of those ones is Columbus, because they seem to struggle against Columbus for some odd reason. And
aren't we supposed to beat Detroit too, though, Justin? Come on, aren't we supposed to beat them? Aren't we supposed to beat Detroit too?
Yeah, we should. When the St. Louis Blues are playing how we know the St. Louis Blues can play, there's not a team that the Blues can't beat. In my mind, I truly believe that. But the Blues seem to struggle against the lower end teams. So a Columbus, and to be honest, the Buffalo Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres are playing great hockey. They're a young team, and they seem to play the Blues pretty well. So
I think Guy and Nick had a conversation about this 4 or 5 years ago. What? Play a shit team, and then you play crappy. Then
well, see, there's a narrative.
There has to be something in their mind.
So see, there's this narrative that says the Blues play down to lower competition, and for me, it's a false narrative, because when you go and look at the Blues record, and I haven't looked at it lately. This was a couple of years ago, or you look at the Blues record when will Ellis start? Will Ellis start against us? Oh wow, I didn't even think about that.
That would be an interesting storyline. I mean, if you're the Buffalo Sabres, technically you really have nothing to lose, I guess, in that regard. So I mean, there's a possibility that he could, depending on how their schedule matches up.
Yeah, no, if I was them, I'd start him against them. I mean, he's got to be. I mean, he can't be upset that he got waived, because he didn't. I mean, he wasn't going to outperform. He wasn't going to take Hoffer's spot.
No,
1 and 2 was set up.
Yeah,
right?
1 and 2 was already set. Goalies were tough, because he would have had to play unreal to even be considered.
So at that point, and again, Hoffer didn't have a great preseason, but he wasn't going to take Hoffer's spot, because you're not waiving Hoffer. You waive Hoffer. Oh my goodness, there'd be 10 teams claiming him off of waivers.
Yeah, but what could we get?
Well,
scoring opportunities versus Hoffer.
Huh?
What scoring opportunities could we have? Give up Hoffer. Who's there?
You get nothing for Hoffer.
Bennington's going to get 45 games in.
Well, yeah, but I think you're missing something here, John. Go ahead.
Sorry. No. And you kind of go back to the offseason, right? So the Blues signed Hofer to his deal. And honestly, if everything, like in an imaginary world, you could be looking at a situation where the Blues didn't sign Hofer, and I didn't think that was ever going to be a possibility. I knew they were always going to sign him. But you look back at this, the Edmonton Oilers were most definitely going to offer Sheet Hofer. I mean, they were most definitely going to offer Sheet Hofer. So, I mean, if that was the case and that ended up happening and the Blues didn't match Hofer, you probably would have been looking at a Bennington Ellis pairing. But but it didn't end up that way. And then, like you said, the 1 and 2 spots were already taken, so that left Ellis having to be waived. So
yeah, John says they let up on the gas, and they do that sometimes. There's this thing of where you don't want to embarrass your opponent, and you know what? I say go out and embarrass them.
Hey, Sister JJ, where are you going to be sitting at Thursday night?
Well, is he going to the game Thursday?
We are,
but I don't know if he is.
I'm assuming he'd be there.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have season tickets. Are you going to the game Thursday night, Sister JJ? I don't think he is. I know he told me he was going to a few games, but I don't think Thursday was one of them. I don't think he was going to a game while I was here. Right? If you're going to the game Thursday, let us know, Sister JJ. Let's get into, because we got about 9 minutes left, because I do want to keep this right at an hour tonight. What do you think, how do I say this in the right dumb way? What do you expect tomorrow night? What is your expectation? What do you see tomorrow night?
Well, we need to see this Blues team battle some adversity. I think adversity is the right word here. How they started games very slow, and trying to come back in games, it's adversity. So I think the right word is adversity. They need to show that they're a battle-tested group that is willing to buy into a system and get to their game and stick with it for a consistent amount of time and not stray away from it. And like you say, have a killer instinct. This is a team that you've already seen once. You've already seen the Vancouver Canucks. You are capable of beating the Vancouver Canucks. You played a great game. It was one of your better games of the season against the Vancouver Canucks. So you need to get to your game. You need to smother them on the forecheck like you did. You need to build off of the positives that we have seen, because there is positives. Despite a 3-6-1 record as of right now in the first 10 games, there's positives. Sorry, say that again. What?
Yeah, go ahead, man. No, you're good. You're good. Go.
Oh, I'm sorry, off mic. I'm just saying that sounds terrible. 3-6-1.
Oh, I mean, it does sound terrible, but again, there are things that you can take out of this. You talked about it. High danger chances. They lead the league in high danger chances. They lead the league in a couple of categories, and not the bad side of the category, the good side of the category. They do lead the league in some of the bad side of the category, or they're last in the league in some of the bad categories. And Chucky says Monty did say that teams that go through this come out stronger. I hope so. I really do. It's
the word that I used was adversity. That is the best word that you could use for it. Adversity makes you stronger, and it will make you stronger if you are willing to buy in and keep back. Because like I said, the way that we started this off is I don't think there's a way that this St. Louis Blues team, I don't think you can point to one thing and say that's what we need to change, and then everything will change. They just need to play through it. They have 2 guys injured, which Thomas and Neighbors are big guys to be missing from this lineup. Neighbors, and I love Robert Thomas. Robert Thomas is a huge blow for the face-off factor, the two-way factor. But Jake Neighbors is probably even more of a loss for the St. Louis Blues, and he's going to be gone for 5 weeks. And the reason I say that is because Jake Neighbors is a character guy for the St. Louis Blues. He literally is a heart and soul of what Blues hockey is. So
yeah, and he's also a guy that gets down there in the dirty areas.
Yeah, he's a guy who gets the dirty goals. And he's a guy that leads the St. Louis Blues right now in goals. He has 6 goals on the season. So while Kyrou leads the team in points with 8, Jake Neighbors has 6 goals. So Jake Neighbors was doing some of the best. He was one of the best Blues. He probably was the best Blues player to start this season.
Hey, I want to say a big shout out to Vitaly's Hideaway. Somebody from there is watching. Thank you on the Vitaly Hideaway, and then they go away. As soon as they say the shout out, they stop watching. Thank you, Vitaly's Hideaway. We love you guys. Thank you. They kind of sort of sponsor the show. They let me put it on their page. We appreciate them. It's great to have them. Let's see, what else can we cover in the next couple of minutes? You ready for the game tomorrow, Justin?
I am. I'm ready for the game. I think a storyline that we should be focusing on tomorrow is the energy that we hope Dalibor Dvorsky brings coming up, and hopefully he can. He's going to be on the power play. Hopefully he can come in and. Hopefully he can come in and garner some energy, much needed energy that the Blues need right now.
Hey, to everybody that's watching on YouTube or on Facebook, please put them likes in the air. We got 5. We'd like to get some more. If you're watching on YouTube, please do the same. I just can't see who you are, but we appreciate all the likes and loves and all of that stuff that we can get. It helps the logarithm push our show out to more Blues fans, and that's what the goal is, to push the show out to more Blues fans. Justin, 4:30 between 4:30 and 5. Does that work for you tomorrow?
Yes, it should. Yeah, I should be okay.
Yeah. So me and Justin are going to the game tomorrow. John will be there. You'll get to meet John in person. Big Country's going to be there. Him and his wife are going to be dressed as Shrek and Fiona. We got to get a picture of that, bud.
You're not dressing up? It's Halloween game.
No, I didn't bring. I got to pack. I have to start.
I might have to throw on a good old costume, possibly. I don't know though. I don't know. We'll see.
Little face.
We'll see.
That's all you need, Justin. Little face paint.
I don't think I do the face paint.
He did. He was not too long ago. He dressed up as Woody, right?
Yeah.
From Toy Story. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
right, Woody, and then we got to put a Blues jersey on Woody.
There you go, guy. That's exactly it.
What?
Yeah.
Woody with the
if only.
Yeah.
Right. But we'll see.
Oh, go ahead, bud. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just saying I'm ready for tomorrow. I want to see a great start, and a start that continues throughout the whole game, and not one that they stray away from their game.
Oh, I agree. So if you're at the game tomorrow, please come up and say hi to me and Justin, or John Hefner, who'll be here.
I'll be between the penalty boxes.
Yeah, he's over by the penalty boxes, lucky bastard. Me and Justin will be in section 310.
I hope there's a good fight, because I just want to take my recorder out and just listen to him go back and forth.
Yeah. Shockey says, hope Devo will bring an attitude change in the room. I don't know if a rookie can do that, but I'd like to see him come in and just, play at 150 miles, 100% of the time.
I don't think. Well, I agree with Guy. I don't think that a rookie is going to elicit that type of, change or attitude change. The Blues should be pissed off already. The Blues should be already angry with the start that they have, given to the Blues faithful already. They should not be happy. They should have a sour taste in their mouth.
How long till we start booing?
I'm already booing.
Well, I think there. I've already heard some boos, but the thing is like I said, there is hopeful things that Blues fans and just fans in general of hockey need to understand when it comes to woes and disappointing efforts and losses and wins. It's an up and down scale, but there's positives. I think Nick Bukestad, for example, played his best game as a St. Louis Blue in the game against. Was it Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh, I think it was. I said. You have, I think, Pease Suter. I think he's played very well away from the puck. He doesn't have like a crazy amount of points, but I think he's been a good addition away from the puck. But so there's positives to build off of. So all I say is just take a seat, take a breath, grab a cold drink, put your feet up, and just relax. It's 10 games in this season. I get it. It's tough. We all had this expectation that the Blues were going to be fantastic. No team goes 82-0. And I agree with Jim Montgomery.
No, I didn't say fantastic. I said damn good.
Right.
I was thinking of 75%.
And I agree. If you listen to Jim Montgomery, I agree with his quote that he said yesterday after the game. The Blues are 3-6-1. The Blues could easily go 6-3 next time, and they're a 500 team again. That I agree with. So you just got to take a seat back and just relax.
Yep, I'm with you. I think that they can get back to 500. Russ, Susie Johnson, and Lana Brannon, thank you so much for putting those thumbs in the air. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. We're at the 1 hour mark. We're going to cut this show short. Normally we go an hour and a half, but with John being here, it's only going to be an hour tonight. John, thank you so much for showing up and
Love
joining
it, brother.
us on the
I
show.
had no idea how much work you did.
It's a lot of it, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of crap going on with you, and
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
A lot of people don't realize it. I mean, when you get behind the scenes of what it takes for me to put this show together, I mean, I'm flipping 2 pages. I'm working with the sounds.
2 computers, the soundboard. Yeah.
And this is only a half setup. I normally have another computer and 2 TV monitors set up. Right? Justin's seen a full setup. Justin knows what I usually go through. Right, bud?
Yeah, it's not it's complicated. It's not for the weak-minded. That's for sure.
No. Just watching his frustration with this one keyboard, and it was just like, holy crap, give me another beer.
Yeah. So I want to tell everybody, thank you for watching the show tonight. We will not be doing another show until I get back in Hawaii, so I don't have an exact date. Should be not this Sunday, but next Sunday we'll be starting our regular 7 o'clock. And until, if you guys don't like the 7 o'clock, you've got to tell me now, and we'll move it to 8. But we're going to do 7 o'clock on Sunday, every Sunday, and that's going to be our weekly talk show like tonight was. Right? You good with that, Justin?
Yeah, and I am good with that. But I would also like to, since we're not doing another show until, you get back and you get settled and everything, I'd like to thank, everyone for the support that they've given us for the live shows that we did do. A big thank you to Vitali Hideaway, Kusamanos, and the Elks Lodge in Cedar Hill. Big thanks to those guys. They were all great. Enjoyed the environment. Great staff for all those places. And, for everybody who was able to show up or just was on here talking to us like you are now, thank you for the support.
Shelby Johnson and Aaron Nels, thank you. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's come up to me and Justin while we're at the games, or come up to me and the people that we met and the things. Hopefully we can get some of these interviews started once I get back. And we're just going to keep doing this show. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep the upbeat. We're going to still do game day shows. Just it might be only one a week, and it's going to depend. The problem with game day shows is in Hawaii, they're at 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. Actually, it'll be 3 with the time change. And that's like a high point for me driving, right? That's like when I can make from 3 to 5, 3 to 6, I can make some really good money in that period. And it's a little bit harder for me to take that time off. And guys, I got to cover the money I spent in this trip, and I got to make enough money so in a year I can come back and do this all over again. And I also got to go to Japan next year, so I got to do all that. And got my daughters coming.
I got one thing left to say. Home. Hey, Roland, we love you. We miss you.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that was a great shout when guy said, "Are you sitting down?" What are you talking about? I'm laying down.
Yeah,
we miss you, man. I was expecting to see everybody. And Sharon, we'll see you and Layla and this weekend. If you got time for Lana and I, we want to make sure you were off work and the kids were out of school before we visited. But we'll be seeing you this weekend, right?
By the way, Justin, we got to make sure I don't forget the signs, because this is the vet tick game coming up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'll try to remind you. So.
Yep. I got them sitting right here. I just got to make sure maybe I'll put them in the car or something. Okay, everybody, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying a big thank you to our guest tonight, John Hefner.
Let's go Blues!
Great to have him on the show. And this is Guy for Justin Scott, saying Justin Eagle Eye Scott with the Eagle Eye review of the Blues, saying aloha mahalo. And you got to know there's only one way that we end this show.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Justin, call him out.
Where's the boys?
Boys!
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, for Justin Eagle Eye Scott and our special guest, John Hefner, saying aloha mahalo. and we'll see you next time on the Blue Note Fan Report. And be
Hey.
sure to like, subscribe on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. Aloha.